InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you. Holistic Sha'Medium and subtle energy surgeon here, Tonya D. It's the daily snippet for August 29th, 2021. I haven't been watching the news. I guess we have quite the storm, Ida, in New Orleans. Ida. Ertugrul, they always say Ida. It means come on or get going or something. So I guess the storm Ida is getting going. So besides the physical body, in-body bumpy ride that we're having, it seems like the planet's actually having its own wake-up call. And I don't find humor in this at all. I'm just musing about it in my inner self. And we, being light, we are like these little atoms of light that are floating around on Earth. We kind of are like our own physical orb. We're creating our own inner orchestra with this cosmic energy being actually galactic, and opposing energy is to settle in, to be in a state of rest and relaxation. So whatever that is for you, find your center, the authentic center. I always like to take a breath and a pause to kind of settle in and find the element that I should actually ground into for the day. Call in the outer forces, the guides, the gatekeepers, the guardians of my galaxy, just to be in the silence of the unseen. The element of the day is actually this Yin Earth Yaya and the rooster on the branch. Curious about the roosters? Have you ever watched a rooster? Sometimes they're kind of cocky, right? And they herd their hens around, or they can be. And it all depends actually on the other elements that's surrounding them. So today is actually this more yin kind of day. So any action really has an action. So anything in action has an action. Or it isn't an action, is kind of what I'm trying to say. But the rooster and the monkey are like the west direction. That's the west side of my house. I don't know. This is probably the east when I do that. But west. So it's like all things, it creates harmony or disharmony. So everything's about balance. So the hour of the dog, which isn't on the screen, I just took the screenshot this morning, but that creates a full west direction, or the influence of that western energy, where the rooster and the ox, along with the snake, if the snake was on the hour, that creates what is called metal triangles, or an affinity to the nature of metal. And that triangle is actually commerce. It's a triangle of success, the ability to easily spot trends, commercial possibilities, commerce, creative flair. Metal energy is kind of this cleansing, storytelling. It's clean, it's detailed. But those are like the talents of actually the rooster, where the ox actually supplies the hard, the due diligence that's actually needed to keep things running. Like in a business, you have to have that stamina, I guess. Where the snake, if we had the snake on the hour, that would supply the sensitivity to the finances that are necessary to stay in the flow. That's kind of the snake's ability. But we don't have the snake, but we do have those other two. So that snake hour could bring some insight in that way, finances, sensitivities. And yesterday, we had a similar day, but with different influences. And again, I sense we need the energy of wood. Wood is vitality. It's our energy body. It's what supplies energy to our body, our vitality. Maybe start a routine of actually drinking smoothies full of greens. It's like drinking your salad. If you do create a smoothie, you could actually bring in the bitter greens to bring in the element or the energy of fire, or even like dark bitter chocolate. The water is hidden, so we have it there. It's not missing. You just can't see it. It's like under the rug, under the carpet. So you could ground into the element of nature. Nature transforms right before our eyes. It's in the unseen. It's magic. When the fall comes, we can see the transformation with the leaves actually changing colors. So it's kind of the clothing of the spring is falling to the ground to actually enliven or nurture the earth. So all the elements play a vital role in all of the cosmology, our inner beingness, our outer beingness, the environment. So, it's all magical, really, if you were to sit and just muse about the magic of the environment. But today is actually a day for our inner heart, our grid, to open up, take in, to receive. Really like slow down and take in the season of life that you're in. Instead of pushing it away, open to different opinions, contemplation. Take kind of like a slower, snail-like approach instead of the rabbit, the hare. Be the ox, be steady. So any emotion that you might have put under the rug the last few weeks or days, or you left it in the closet, those emotional fields actually might come out today, brewing in the undercurrent of our reality. So if you were like an ox and you've just been plowing through your emotional field, those little seeds actually might come up on a day like today. Ultimately, really, whatever comes to the surface, you want to kind of make it simple and really take time to nurture your own inner needs, your inner garden, and give inner attention to those feelings. If you try to ignore or resist them, it's actually going to make it worse. So you kind of have to have a conversation with your story, your affirmations in your mind, right? Those thoughts that come popping in. So it's like steering your boat or directing it into a storm of those feelings, into the emotions. And it's really the easiest way to restore balance. And oftentimes it's the quickest, is like when we go right inside the storm. So you kind of want to ask yourself on your inside voice, if you are ready not only to accept, but also take in, open up to receive the truth about the conditions in your life, the life conditions, the narrative, the story. Is there something that you refuse to believe? I mean, for me, I always say I'm not going to participate in the story. Have you been fighting against different thread lines or a fact or some kind of information? So, in a state of rest, you want to be in the eye of the storm, in the center of the storm, to be a catalyst in a way to settle within yourself and also restore body, mind, and spirit. I like to throw the soul in as well, into the cosmic soup. Just being able to see yourself, more importantly, just be open, take in, see life from a higher perspective, a mountainous view of love embodied, the who and also the whys. So kind of ask yourself, have you been heartless? Have you been self-loathing to yourself on the inner side, the inner world? Unfair, maybe? Living out of your soul's balance. So today you might have self-realizations of where you need to actually transform a habit, a ritual, a narrative, your soul story, your spirit story. If you are unkind to yourself in any way, the evidence actually will prove to give you clarity on bringing or aligning in harmony. So what would make that worse is actually judging yourself, self-judgment. So be kind to yourself, I think the world needs more kindness anyway, right? Do what it takes actually to restore your inner orchestra, your own inner harmony of sounds that are actually unique to your own frequency and your own vibration. Just, take it in, be open, accept, actualize, and acknowledge the truth of any and all situations in your inner world. Your day-to-day is there, and we have the environment. I haven't been watching the news. That's why I didn't know about Ida. But I was called in to climb into the eye of the storm, so we'll see how that one goes. On the other side of all of this inner side, in our inner beingness, is where we have restoration. We have the balance, the harmony, the peace coming to those aspects of our life in our village. So it's really a day to be fair in our emotional channel, be accepting of yourself, and notice how you feel by rejuvenating or restoring your emotional frequency, your field. So the feelings that start bubbling up from under the rug or in the storm, those might even be new ways of being in a relationship with yourself. and just kind of see the areas where you are under or even overachieving different aspects in your life. Again, on the inside, the inner world, are you overachieving in your actions, your behaviors, how you value yourself, your thoughts or your narrative, your story, your family, your home, romance, creativity? So it really is a day to bring those things into alignment, into balance, even relationships. Everyone's careers are kind of moving, transitioning, it feels like, out in our society, the world, the globe, right? So when we yield to our heart in our channel of beliefs, our patterns, we realize the space in our inner reality that actually we need to yield or have kind of, I don't see caution, I see a yielding. So instead of the areas that you're kind of demanding control of, ground yourself, your feelings, take in and receive. So it's like getting this recalibration or a rejuvenation, and tune into your heart channel and accept, without judgment. And once you accept what reality of, what it is, the narrative, then you can take in and open the channel to what actually will be. So you really want to be in the channel of spirit, the dream channel, the fire inside of us. Be creative and imagine in your third eye who you wish to be out into the future, or on the day to day for that matter. And you want to utilize this energy to channel in the imagination, all the pathways, the roads that are actually available to ourself in our inner garden. So it's this transformation, kind of like from the cocoon to the butterfly, or a flower that blossoms, or a seed that bursts through and sheds skin, right? Where I did a TikTok about the same kind of frequency and energy for the weekend. You can see that on somewhere. I have it out there, TikTok, my personal page, and whatnot. But all things transform like nature. What do you ultimately want to be? So imagine and be in the frequency of that authenticity, and just rest, take a pause, take a breath. Just take a moment and really look in the mirror and reflect on what the relationship that you have to yourself. I talked about this before, where I actually bought myself my own personal wedding ring to be married to myself, to be true to my heart, to be true to my beingness. That was like 20, 30 years ago. But we can all look at all of our relationships, even outside of ourselves. That's kind of the relationship we look at, but not the reflection in the mirror, where it's actually kind of hard to look in the mirror and say loving things to yourself, right? And open up that channel. It's kind of difficult. I think we're actually kind of hard on ourselves when we reflect in the mirror. But also, how do you treat others? Do you treat yourself in the same way? That's a direct reflection, right? Do you treat yourself the way you want others to be treating you? So it's really a day or a time and space to upcycle our inner story, so we can create this fresh vitality, a new attitude, something new and different that's enlivening to attach to. Drawing in just pure universal chi, life force energy from the universe, stimulating. What happens when we do that? It stimulates our intuition. It promotes balance, the duality, and also brings in more of a cosmic alignment, being in a profound state of more bliss, or, just spiritually open to pull in imagery through our third eye. It creating more of a serene self-image, a serene village is kind of what I'm seeing. Serene essence of nature, where you can take in those abilities. Grounding in a sense of your beingness, part of the source, the universe, the God channel, the great spirit, really it's whatever word resonates in and through you. Sometimes it might feel like it's time to get our hands dirty, repot plants in your village, in your story, go out in your garden, clear your mind of that chatter or those patterns, and be in your own personal observation station where thoughts just float away. When you really start to ground, the groundwork, you're working with the energy of the earth. It really only takes a few minutes. And you kind of want to notice or feel into anything shifting, because the earth energy herself is calling us to show up and be part of the shift, the transformation. So ultimately, you want to stay centered. You might feel challenged. The outer realms of the world, might cause a little distraction, little gnats. So you want to find the solution, but you want to find that solution through the channel of your heart, your spiritual truths. And the moon, the moon is on its way into our thought channel, our grid line of thoughts. Gemini's the channeling, telepathy kind of thing, where we channel in and out. We all have a mind somewhere, right? So, it's this internalization of the chatter of our emotions, the moon. It's our inside voice, right? So are you going to upcycle your thoughts, shift to a new positive affirmation, a mantra on the inside? Our throat center is online today, so it really is just a great day to reflect and be expressive, be imagination, be in the vision grid. Wear blues, eat blueberries, look out into the sky. The seed sound of Heem, it's spelled ham, H-A-M, but it's the E as in sleep. So you could Heem and clear your throat channel if you're called to do that. Open up to self-expression, your authentic voice. I always put those in the show notes if you're curious or have kind of a wondering of what this sounds like. You could also bring in the elemental sounds of nature. Wood energy, nature is shh, like shushing a child. Shh. Or fire. Fire is the heat of a ha. Not quite guttural throat, but the ha. Or you could also use the element of water to bring in peace and clarity, the sound of a water fountain. But to tone it through your voice, it's the sound of like blowing out a candle. Not sure you can hear that. Another great one for today, the angelic being, is Jophiel, the beauty of God, where you can add more beauty into your inner world, inside and out, Are you experiencing a feeling of being confident and self-loving? We all have a unique beauty that resides within each and every one of us. My first business was actually called Beauty and the Beast, where, I was seeing the beauty that everybody had on that 10th etheric mirror. I would see their beauty first before I would see their shadow on the other side, which was always curious. That was more with the people that were, I was working with day to day as far as clients. I wanted to envelope and engage and bring out their inner beauty. So when they left, they didn't see the beast that they might have been feeling like on the inside. So, we all have beauty. We oftentimes just focus on our bestiality side of ourselves, and really authentically, how boring would the word be if we just all looked the same? So it's really a day to bring in Jophiel, celebrate your unique essence, see yourself through the eyes of the creator, the divine, the eyes of truth, and Jophiel. And really any other perspective is, ego's part. It's a false narrative, a false story. And notice if you are in your ego state, when you slip into any narrative that's negative, you really want to call in Jophiel. And notice, when you do that, the pause in your story, the pause in the story of the beauty in the thought sequence. That's what's interesting. Just, what happens is you're inviting yourself to contemplate on something else. So if you have any negative self-talk or beliefs, Jophiel is actually the archangel to call in and to bring out the beauty that resides within you. It's like cleaning up your inner house or your environment, your outlook, just everything, the overall of all of it, actions, behaviors, and, notice the beauty in the storm and even in the calm of the storm. Art, that's this aspect. So I've been watching a lot of history movies on Netflix, the Medicis, the Magnificent, but the beauty in the art, actually tells the story. The Last Kingdom, the same thing, creating beauty inside and out, physically and also spiritually. It's this angelic being of the feng shui, the environment, You know, not everybody needs like this white cleansed house. Some people need a wood environment, an earthy nature home, a beingness. You know, that's kind of, if you think about people that are witches, basically, is what's coming to mind, like herbs in the counters and different herb gardens or in the shed, huh? But that's kind of the essence of that frequency, that feeling for today. So I would probably play with herbs, essential oils, make some good stuff today, and just recognize the beauty even in the smells and the senses and all that good stuff. The card of the day, this is so fun. I can't even believe I pulled this card. Um, and look at the card. It's just magically beautiful, right? It's the middle world. Like, wow, I pulled the upper world a day or so ago. Now I have the middle world, which is actually curious as well. The middle world, it's the realm of our day-to-day reality and being in the season of Virgo, which is reality. Um, you know, the embody kind of reality. So it's this playground of the living. It's the present moment where everything is literally happening, the seen and the unseen. But the middle world is like created by the future, not only the past, but also the future. So it's actually a mirror of the invisible realms when things are right or in love in the middle world. Heaven and earth, you know, they support everything. Those channels are congruent, they're resonant. When they're not right or they're off, you know, heaven and earth has to be brought back into order or alignment, into balance, basically, right? So the middle world shows up when conditions are in favor, actually, to take an action or what action to take. You don't really want to hesitate. It's time to move forward. So it's like heaven and earth are kind of smiling in the channels, you know, shedding light and beaming it back up. So the time is authentically right. So, you know, you want to act, be mindful of not being reckless, however, in your actions. And the world is ultimately our playground. It's our creative realm to create, where it would require, you know, normally if it required a lot of effort, normally at any time, you know, the tasks are going to be easily accomplished with a day like today and this card, especially within the reflection of the self, what you see, right? So don't really try to correct the earth, you know, what needs to be corrected in the heavens, the opposing. So the resources to support the shift or the change, the endeavor of whatever it is you're considering or creating, or actually they're not readily available at the current moment as of yet. So it's actually important to just ask for assistance from those invisible realms, from the helpers in the upper world, our guardians, our gatekeepers and whatnot, angelic beings even. But now it's really a time to take a pause and reflect. So it's you know, it's a great day to just be mindful of what you are feeling and open or take in to your heart, take it all in, take it, you know, take even the unseen in, and also all of those unlimited possibilities or opportunities, and just open the door, you know, open the door, invite and accept, you know, it's okay to receive a bounty. Some affirmations to get you on your way, or to say to yourself, I should say, is like, I am being anew on the inside, or I am reflecting to myself the being that I want to be on the inside, so it can literally just shine out, right? So just a little snippet for today, InShalla and Ashe. And as always, I will see you on the other side. Make it a rest, taking in opportunity kind of day. Oh, I have 20 snippets here. There I am.